Even more bad news for Joe Biden, as the Senate has just received highly sensitive Hunter Biden banking records after a letter to the money laundering unit in the Treasury Department. Democrats clearly panicked about this as the media is stepping in to complain about the investigation. One headline asking, is it a blatant double standard? Trump administration is giving highly secretive Hunter Biden financial records to the Senate GOP. Another liberal media outlet says Trump's Treasury Department is now helping a Hunter Biden probe while furiously protecting the president. And this media meltdown is getting even worse today after this news that the White House is reportedly weighing the dismissal of Lieutenant Colonel Vindman, one of the Obama-era holdovers in the NSC who testified against President Trump during the impeachment inquiry. As expected, the mainstream media is furious over this news as well. One headline from Slate says, seeking revenge for impeachment testimony, Trump reportedly set to oust Vindman. The media's cries and complaints don't really hold up, however, as this is just one step being taken by the Trump administration to remove Obama's lingering influence at the NSC. President Trump's new national security advisor recently removed over 40 Obama holdovers. So Vindman's removal, it seems, would just be another part in these actions already being taken. So here's the info we currently have on these highly sensitive Hunter Biden banking records that have now been sent to the Senate. Also, could be notable that this is happening just after Republican senators requested Hunter Biden's travel records from the Secret Service. President Trump's Treasury Department has complied with Republican senators' requests for highly sensitive and closely held financial records about Hunter Biden and his associates, and has turned over evidence of questionable origin to them, according to a leading Democrat on one of the committees conducting the investigation. Senate Finance Committee Chairman Chuck Grassley and Senate Homeland Security and Governmental Affairs Committee Chairman Ron Johnson asked the Treasury in November for suspicious activity reports, banking alerts involving money laundering or fraud related to Biden and his associates. Again, Democrats are freaking out at this news. A spokeswoman for Senator Ron Wyden, the ranking Democrat on the Senate Finance Committee, told Yahoo News that the department has already started turning over records. The Wyden spokeswoman criticized the Treasury Department for rapidly complying with the requests, calling the Republican-led Senate investigation of Biden a sideshow. Quote, applying a blatant double standard, Trump administration agencies like the Treasury Department are rapidly complying with Senate Republican requests, no subpoenas necessary, and producing evidence of questionable origin, said the Democrat spokeswoman. A spokesman for Grassley said that he could not elaborate on what the records contained at this time, but criticized Democrats for recklessly seeking to interfere with the investigation. Quote, as a matter of routine, we don't discuss sensitive third-party material during ongoing investigations. It's unfortunate that Democrats, whom we've kept in the loop on our investigations, would recklessly seek to interfere with legitimate government oversight, Grassley's spokesman told the Washington Examiner. The development was first reported by Yahoo News, with a source telling the publication that the Treasury Department began complying with the Grassley-Johnson request in less than 2 months. In the November letter, which was not publicly released by either of the committees but obtained by Reuters, Grassley and Johnson say that they are, quote, conducting an investigation into potentially improper actions by the Obama administration with respect to Burisma Holdings and Ukraine. They then request any suspicious activity reports and related documents that have been filed in regard to Hunter Biden, the son of former Vice President Joe Biden, and Burisma Holdings, the Ukraine gas company that Hunter Biden worked at. Democrats again raging over the news. This spokeswoman for Democrat Senator Wyden declined to discuss the content of the documents being turned over from the Treasury Department, but noted that the administration was, quote, voluntarily cooperating with the Senate Republican sideshow at lightning speed. This article from The Hill goes on to add that a suspicious activity report, according to the Treasury Department, is filed by a financial institution when they find an initial detection of facts pointing to a suspicious activity in an account. That includes filing reports on cash transactions that exceed $10,000 and reporting activity that might signal criminal activity in an effort to prevent money laundering. The letter to the Treasury Department is one of several that Grassley and Johnson, sometimes in conjunction with Senate Judiciary Committee Chairman Lindsey Graham, have sent as they've probed potential conflicts of interest stemming out of the Obama administration. Republicans have also sent letters to the State Department requesting information related to Hunter Biden and Ukraine. And once again, further adding to this, GOP senators have requested Hunter Biden's travel records from the Secret Service. We mentioned this statement on Wednesday, also from Grassley and Johnson, saying that they've requested Hunter Biden's official travel records from the U.S. Secret Service as part of their ongoing probe into potential conflicts of interest. This could include travel both within the U.S. as well as Biden's dealings in Ukraine, China, and other countries. In the letter addressed to Secret Service Director James Murray, the senators requested info about whether Hunter Biden used government-sponsored travel to help conduct private business. They asked for a description of the protective detail that Hunter Biden received while his father was vice president, and a list of all dates and locations of travel, international and domestic, for Hunter Biden while he received a protective detail. In your response, please note whether his travel was on Air Force One or Two or other government aircraft as applicable, and whether additional family members were present for each trip. So very interesting. It sounds like these senators are seeking info on other members of Joe Biden's family as well. This follows a growing number of recent reports on other members of Biden's family using their ties to Joe Biden for their own corruption schemes. Joe Biden's brother Frank has been linked to projects receiving $54 million in taxpayer loans from the Obama administration despite no experience. And while the Bidens profited off taxpayer money, reports have just come out that Biden's brother, meanwhile, has been dodging paying $1 million that he owes to daughters orphaned in a crash. Also, recent reports on how Biden's daughter, Ashley Biden's organization, received $166,000 in federal grants while her father was vice president. There's also more reports on how Joe Biden's sister, Valerie, sent millions of Joe's campaign dollars to her own consulting firm. So it's understandable that these senators are seeking info not just on Hunter Biden and his travels, but also any additional Biden family members that were present for the trips. Also mentioned in a video earlier this week how the Secret Service is investigating a separate case tied to the Bidens. A laptop computer containing notes on Ukraine and former Vice President Joe Biden and other sensitive information was stolen from the car of John Solomon. The Secret Service is involved in the investigation, which appears suspicious. Though the laptop has since been recovered, the investigation is still open. Predictably, the Washington Post is among the mainstream media outlets that are panicking over news of this investigation into the Biden family. Washington Post's owner, Jeff Bezos, of course, received a $600 million cloud computing contract from the CIA and went on to hire John Podesta, Hillary Clinton's former campaign chair. As such, the Washington Post has been called out as essentially a mouthpiece for the deep state. So probably no surprise when they ran this headline yesterday saying, emboldened, Trump allies may already be targeting his enemies in new ways. Another Democrat defending mainstream news outlet cries that the Trump revenge-a-thon is proceeding quickly. So how will the media meltdown continue as this investigation goes forward? Please leave a comment and tell me what you think. If you could give this video a thumbs up, that's greatly appreciated. Click the like button. Make sure that you're subscribed to the channel. Also, down in the video description are links to my Patreon or PayPal accounts where you can support this channel directly. Even a few dollars makes a huge difference. Helps me keep talking about these issues. Patreon.com/realityreader or paypal.me/realityreader. Both links are down below. One more big thank you to everybody that has been sharing these videos and sharing the channel with others to help get the info out there. I will follow up soon. Thanks again.